What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. And we got to continue our march through the 2025 NFL Draft. And we are going to be doing running backs now. Running backs. I know what you guys might be thinking when I say that. You might be thinking we don't need a running back, or I don't want to draft a running back because the running back position doesn't matter like it used to. Or maybe some combination of those two things. And there's definitely some truth there. On the surface, right now, the Seattle Seahawks do not need a running back. But I'm going to reiterate something that I've already said a few times. I think this team needs to be thinking about the bigger picture here. And I think they need to be thinking about amassing as much talent as humanly possible. I think they need to be thinking about getting together the best players at pretty much every juncture and figuring it out later. Maybe you draft a player that isn't able to do anything amazing that first year because he's got too many players in front of him. Okay, that's not the end of the world. So I'm looking at a position like running back, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, a running back probably wouldn't be able to do that much for the Seahawks in 2025. You've got Ken Walker, you've got Zach Charbonnet, you've got Kenny McIntosh, but Ken Walker's probably not going to be here next year. Zach Charbonnet, who knows? And Kenny McIntosh, who knows if he's even much of anything yet. So if you have the opportunity to get a really, really good running back and just make your bench really, really deep for a moment and plan for 2026 to be his big year, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So let's keep an open mind here. I'm not thinking that hard about 2025. I am thinking about it, but if I can give myself an opportunity to be a truly great team 2026 and beyond, I'm going to be a little bit more eager to jump on that. And maybe taking a running back is that way. Maybe not, because yes, running backs don't matter as much as they used to, but we should at least explore it, especially when it comes to this first guy, Ashton Jeanty of Boise State. Now, some of you may have just said, well, there's no way we're going to draft Ashton Jeanty. There's no way we're going to be able to get Jeanty when he's clearly a top 10 player in this draft and we pick at 18. And I tend to agree. I think that there is a less than 10% chance that he falls to 18, but I'd say it's probably more than 1%. And maybe that's not enough for us to really think about taking him, but we should understand what this guy is. This guy is about as good as it gets for a running back prospect. This guy is right there with guys like Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley. He's probably not Adrian Peterson, but he's not far off. He is pretty much anything that you could want in the modern NFL at running back. He is special, and he is worth your consideration. Short, definitely short, but decently sized, which is, by the way, for a running back, kind of a good thing. You want to be short. Lower center of gravity. Most big boards have him in the top 5. CBS and the Draft Network have him a little bit lower. Aggregate has him at 6. So he looks like a top 10 player to me. The production last year was off the charts insane. Over 2,700 yards from scrimmage, 30 touchdowns, 7 yards per carry. Year before that, he still had good numbers, but the receiving really stood out. He caught 43 passes for almost 570 yards that year, so you also see the receiving threat that he is. And he is the full package. Anything that you can name, Jeanty is. He accelerates up to top speed very quickly. I know he didn't do much at the combine, but he can get up to his top speed very fast. His low center of gravity makes him hard to take down. You really have to work to get him to the ground. He's got great vision to set up runs. He's got that Sean Alexander vision. He's got speed to get to the outside to force defenses to play him honest. It's not 4-3 speed, but it is speed enough to house long carries and get the edge. He has some power. He can push through contact without issue. He can use his power effectively. He makes would-be tacklers miss in the open field routinely. And as we can see, he can be a receiving back. So you name it, he's got it. Speed, acceleration, power, vision. He's got pretty much everything. What doesn't he have? Where does Jeanty maybe fall a little bit short? It's not much. If you're drafting him, you're concerned about a couple of things, right? He worked so hard and got the ball so many times in 2024. We are talking almost 400 touches that you do wonder if maybe the tread on the tire is already wearing a little bit thin. So this might be a guy who doesn't have a super long career, and he might be a guy that you want to work a little bit to preserve in a way that Boise State did not. Boise State very clearly didn't really think that much about preserving him for 2025 because they knew he wasn't going to be there in 2025. But if you're going to spend a top pick on him, maybe you want to be a little more cautious with that. He has had some minor fumble issues in his career. He's not an ironclad ball security guy yet. Maybe he can get there, but he does have very short arms, which doesn't help. And I do think he could stand to make some improvements as a pass protector, but I don't think it's bad, and I don't think it's anything that's going to be like a big problem. I look at it as something that can clearly improve, clearly get better, and overall, I think that these issues are pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. He is a very special prospect, and even if you're not into the whole idea of getting a running back high, make an exception for this guy. So he is the real deal, the full meal deal, sterling running back prospect. The worst I can say about him is he might end up having a short NFL career because of the wear and tear on his body after last season. Again, almost 400 touches. So I'd take him in the top 10. I'd probably take him in the top 8. Maybe I'd take him in the top 6. The bottom line is I'm taking him at 18 if he's there somehow. And there's no way he should be there. And I don't think he will be. But I don't think it's completely dismissible. All right. So that is your ironclad first round running back. He will be going in the first round. Of that I can pretty much feel confident of. But this next guy, not quite so sure, but he's got a shot. Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton of the Tar Heels, North Carolina. 21 when the season starts. Bigger than Jeanty, for sure. 6 feet, 221 pounds, so he's got some size. Tested pretty well. Good speed, okay acceleration. Very explosive with his hips. 38-inch vert, 10-foot, 10-inch broad is very nice. So most of the testing was good. Not all of it was, but most of it was good. Big boards, we've got quite a few first-rounders, and then we've got CBS with him in the third. They're marching to the beat of their own drum on this one, but the aggregate has him in the late first. And he has been crazy productive these last couple years as a runner and a receiver. Last 2 years combined, over 3,100 rushing yards, almost 600 receiving yards, almost 70 receptions, 5.9 yards per carry. He's just been special. He's been great. He's been one of the most productive running backs in all of the country. And it makes sense why he's getting this positive attention. It really does. So his main claim to fame is his power. He's big, and he can get going like a runaway garbage truck, and there's just no stopping him. He just slams the gas, gets going, and he's got so much mass and so much power that it's just really hard to get in front of him. He's absolutely terrifying to try to tackle. It's like trying to deal with Charles Barkley on the fast break. He just breaks away and he's gone. And he might not have the speed to outrun you, but good luck trying to take him down. He can fight through contact and keep chugging. His contact balance is really good. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. Very productive in that regard. He can catch passes, no problem out of the backfield. And he can, while he doesn't have a lot of lateral movement, he can beat backfield penetration with lateral cuts. And he's proven he can take on a big workload and keep going through it. So that is kind of his claim to fame. He is a big, powerful back that gets ahead of steam, and good luck. He is the runaway freight train. Now, that kind of also spells out some of the issues that Hampton's probably going to have. He's a straightforward player. Once he gets going, he's just going to go in a straight line, and it's all going to be about pushing through contact, breaking tackles. You're not going to see a lot of open field jukes. You're not going to see a lot of evasiveness. You're not going to see a bunch of creativity. It's just go until somebody or some people, because it's usually more than one person, get him on the ground. His vision's not that good. He's actually kind of just a blunt instrument. He doesn't necessarily do a great job finding the hole. He's somebody where the hole needs to be presented to him. He's not great in pass protection yet either. Not yet a great pass blocker. He's a little over aggressive, I think. He's one of those guys that will run up the back of his blockers because he's just trying to go. And if the blockers haven't gotten in position yet, it can cause some a little bit of a mess. And the way he plays football, he takes a lot of abuse, right? You play like this, you're probably not going to have a super long career. So, in all likelihood, I would expect that he is going to maybe have a shorter career because of the way that he plays. It's just inevitable. So, he's going to be a bear to deal with in the NFL, I think. I think he's going to be a big pain. I think he is going to be that really, really powerful back that just runs people over and leaves a trail of bodies in his wake. There just isn't that much else he's necessarily going to be able to do. I think he's a good receiver, but he won't be a great third down back because he doesn't block that well. Maybe he can get better there. And I will say that his testing numbers looked a little bit better than I expected. He showed a little more speed and a little more explosion than I would have expected. So maybe there's some upside beyond what we saw at North Carolina, but I think for the most part, this guy is a relatively one-track, one-dimensional player, but he's so good at that one track. I'd still put him in the first round. I would still say late first round, very back end, 30, 31, 32. I don't think you can go that wrong with it. So that is Omarion Hampton, and that is the end of our running back first rounders. We have a couple of guys in the second round coming up now, but if you're looking for first round running backs, Jeanty and Hampton are your only, well, I don't want to say that, but they are your most realistic candidates. Jeanty's a lock. Hampton's got a shot. Let me know what you think of these two. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. More running back talk coming very soon here. Fun class. I'm just going to say it right now. It's a great running back class. And even if you're a team that doesn't need one, you might want to go get one. See you guys later. Go Hawks.